Hey folks, I want to talk about a couple things, a couple business ideas and practices. I want to talk about the three things that really set you guys as shops apart from big box stores and especially online stores. I know that's the big thing going on right now. The big competition is online stores, Amazon, and all these other people that are fighting for your customers' business. So I want to bring up the three things that really can set you apart and kind of some ideas on those. Feel free to call or email us if you have questions on them or if you have other suggestions, thoughts, or ideas, or comment on the video as well. So, three things are range, labor, and customer service. Now, I know some of you don't have a range, so that won't apply to you. So, you guys are kind of going to fall on that customer service and labor, which will make those even more critical for you. But we'll start off with range real quick. Um, range. Uh, the that's a huge one that you guys have over box stores and online stores. What's the big difference between you guys and an online store? An online store doesn't have you and they don't have a range. They can't sell range time, they can't sell range passes, they can't sell memberships, they can't offer those things, but you guys can. Same thing with box stores. Now, some box stores might have small, tiny little ranges that they've got in there, whether or not they just kind of let people come in and shoot or they use that for their own purposes. Who knows? And some of you guys, depending on where you're at, there might be public ranges or outdoor ranges around there that are also kind of competing for your business. But a range tool is huge. So being able to um, charge for range time, have people come in to use your range, using your range for other things, not just, walk-in range sessions, but maybe exploring rentals or exploring the idea of classes or leagues is really, really valuable because that's kind of what sets you apart and that's what draws people in. If you can get people in to use your range, to shoot leagues, to take classes, what happens is that gives you the opportunity to build your rapport with them and to give them customer service, to figure out what their needs are, what their wants are, and then show them stuff. And a lot of times nowadays, customers are willing to buy on two things: convenience and loyalty. If they like you, if you are helpful to them, if they get along with you, they want to buy from you because they like you, even if it's more expensive to buy from you than online. And convenience, if I can go buy something online or spend a couple more dollars and get it in store, I'm more likely to go in store because if I go in store, I don't have to pay shipping and I don't have to wait. I can get it right then and now. And I know I struggle with it, and a lot of other people do these days, is delayed gratification, especially once we get something. We usually tend to either research something for a long, long time and we figure out that's exactly what we want. When we want it right now. We don't want to wait any longer because we've already done all the research and we know that's what we want. Or we don't know what we want, but we let someone who is a perceived expert in the field guide us to what we want, and then we want it because we know it's going to work for us. So the range kind of really can lead into your customer service, but the range is a huge tool to draw people in. You're already paying for it. You figure it's $3 to $5 per square foot once you factor in utilities or rent, lighting, all that stuff on your range. And the average range is 15 to 20,000 square feet, some more, some less. So your range is already a cost to you no matter what. You may as well use that to your advantage and make some money off of it. It's going to be there. The lights are going to be on. The AC or the heater is going to be running, whether you've got customers in there or not. So if you can use that to get customers in and then charge them for it, then that's just a win-win for you as well as the customers, because they can't go to an online store and get that. They can't get it from a box store. And depending on where you guys are at, based on what part of the country you're at, if you're in a rural area versus an urban area, they may or may not be able to get into a good shooting facility around their area. So use that to your advantage and don't be afraid to charge for it. That's a huge one. Next one is labor. Labor is big too. The other big factor that online stores can't pull and box stores try to pull, but they kind of fall short, is labor. Customer can't send their bow into Amazon or into another online store to have it tuned or fixed or anything like that. They've got to go to a service shop, and they can go to a big box store, but generally the box stores don't have as much experience or knowledge in those fields, so they end up coming back to you guys, even if they don't come there first. So labor is a big one. Don't do stuff for free. Don't do something for nothing. Obviously, there are occasions where it's different, where you might make an exception, be it a very regular customer or a new customer that may have been upset by someone else. Who knows? There are always exceptions to that. But you guys have the tools, the experience, and the knowledge to do something that they can't do themselves and they can't have done anywhere else. There's nothing wrong with charging for that because it's also a perceived value. If you give me something for free and you give it to me for free often, then my idea or value of that thing you're giving me is low because you give it away to me for free so often. Whereas if you charge for it, I know there's a value. I know there's something behind it. I know that there's a reason I'm paying for it, and I gladly pay for it. And then if down the road you give it to me at a discount or for free once every now and then, I appreciate it a lot more because I know that there is a value and I know what that value is. So when you're doing things, even if it's little things, serving in a peep, installing a peep, twisting the peep, different little things there, here and there, charging for that or emphasizing that this has a value, but I'm going to waive it for you because, of this. I like you, or because it's not that big of a deal, or because, whatever. Always emphasize the value, and if you are not going to associate a cost to it or charge them for it, emphasize the value, encourage that, let them know that this is something that's normally charged for. But that's a big one, is labor. There's all sorts of things that you can do or that you can use for that, and explore your prices. Maybe you're charging a little less for labor. Maybe you're charging too much for labor. The cool thing about your system now, depending on how you have your labor SKUs set up, is you'll be able to track all of your SKUs and when you do labor, how much you charge for labor, and you'll be able to see the numbers, which will be really, really cool and really beneficial. Last one is customer service. We've kind of already talked about it because it kind of weaves into both labor and the range, as well as a lot of other things. But customer service is very different for a store or a shop than it is an online store. Online store, it's pretty easy. All they got to do is they've got to update the customer when they receive their order, when they receive their payment, when they shipped it, and a tracking number. So it's pretty easy. Couple emails. With certain systems in place, that's all done automatically anyways, so there really is very little customer service involved in an online store, so they kind of have it easy there. As long as they're getting emails to them and shipping out the product when they say they are, and it's getting there when they say they are, they're good to go. But they don't necessarily have um, someone that the customer can talk to ask questions about, to get real world scenarios or real world tech information. How does this product work? What are the benefits to it? What are the downsides to it? How does it compare to this product? That's where the online stores fall short, and that's where you guys can really, really win over online stores and even other box stores. So, being that knowledge point, that point of reference they can go to, they can ask questions, answering their questions, and always bringing it back to you and your shop, not other places, because then they're going to naturally and subliminally think of your shop when they think of archery or when they think of that product. So having a good rapport and building good relationship with your customers, uh, making sure that they know and they understand that you are the expert in that field, that you know what you're talking about, that you really do care about them, that you really do want what's best for them in their archery career, their hunting career, or whatever it is they're doing, whether it's something they're really passionate about or it's just a hobby. So Those are some big things to look at. So customer service is a big one. And it's funny because if you ask anyone, any shop in any industry what their strong suit is, they're always going to tell you, "Oh, my strong suit's customer service." Um, and there's a difference between customer service as perceived by you, as in us, and the customer, and that's a hard thing to look at sometimes. But your big thing is you always want to look at your customer service not just in light of you and your shop, but look at it in light of the customer. What does the customer expect as good customer service? We tend to think, okay, well, I tune their bow well and I answer all their questions. That's good customer service. But that's not necessarily true. Good customer service could be, depending on where you're at or depending on the customer, could be just you listening to them or answering their questions or showing them how to do something. Customers are different. They want different things or they expect different things. And so the big thing is being able to read them and being able to cater to their needs so that they feel welcome and listened to. And that is where your good customer service comes in. That's how you spread um, your knowledge base, your customer base. You get recommendations, word of mouth, and that's a really, really big one. So if you guys got any questions on any of that, any suggestions on that, things you guys are doing or have done in the past that work really well for you or haven't worked so well, and you guys want to talk about that, feel free to let us know. We'd love to get some more ideas. These are all just compilation of ideas and things I've seen from working in other shops and working with other shops. So obviously these aren't be all end alls. These are just suggestions, ideas. So if you guys want to add to it, feel free. Give us a call if you got anything, or shoot an email. 480-664-2096 or Dan or Cassie at orgmyrange.com. Have a good one.